Poirot in a kimono, Magnum P.I. as a samurai, Columbo as a sumo, and one other famous detective that rhymes with something from Japanese culture. I'll leave that one to you in the comments. This is what you get with the Centennial case, a Shijima story. Now, first off, this is a murder mystery FMV, basically a movie with slight interactive elements. Considering the mystery is literally the only pull of this game, it wouldn't be right to spoil stuff, so this is as spoiler-free as I can possibly get, I would say. I literally stopped recording footage after 1 hour because things were starting to get a little bit tasty, and I thought, okay, I better stop right now. I mean, Square Enix, they said like 90 minutes, but no, I'm too altruistic for that. So bear that in mind. This is a much bigger game than you'll see from this review. The Centennial case, a Shijima story, an FMV from Square Enix. Who'd have thought that? The famous JRPG company getting into a genre lost to time, developed by the same people who handled the World Ends With You series. None of this makes sense. I think we can all agree that this game should not exist, but I think some executive over at Square Enix, they were probably smoking something funny one Friday night, and they wrote down their signature for a laugh for this project, along with their career going down a well. But I tell you what, I was excited for it. Who doesn't like a murder mystery? I spent so many Sundays at my nan's watching repeats of Murder, She Wrote. I almost developed a crush on Angela Lansbury. Dark times. Even more awkward when she switched to Murdoch Mysteries, and I've had a thing for chiseled jaws ever since. But I think we can all agree Castle was the best murder mystery show. If it's not yours, you're wrong. But I would love to know yours. Should probably review this game, right? Let's review this game. A skeleton under a cherry tree. Yes, that is the plot. You are a mystery writer called in to find out who, what, why there is a skeleton under a cherry blossom tree found in the Shijima family grounds. The Shijima family is what one may call well shady. This is a family who have been researching the elixir of youth, pretty much, and the mystery writer's associate is the estranged middle son who wants to get more information about it. He believes the skeleton has something to do with it. However, that's not the only mystery to solve in this game. You'll be led through different chapters that offer different mysteries that are connected in some way to the main plot. Not just one murder, but a good few chapters to get through. Think of it like an Ace Attorney game in that regard. 95% of the time you're sat on your ass just watching the story unfold like any good TV show. This has the added gimmick of being set during different time periods, using the same actors to play different roles. When this was originally announced, I assumed that they would be like ancestors of each other, but no, they aren't genetically connected, which ends up being a little bit confusing. While this was obviously used to keep like connections between time periods and to keep a reasonable budget instead of using 3 times the actors, the game actually makes a pretty cool excuse as to why the characters look so similar to each other. It's dumb, childish, but I like it. It's kind of like myself. I like myself, I think. While you're watching the acting, you'll occasionally be able to choose dialogue options which only affect things very slightly, and you can pick up clues in the slowest quick-time events in gaming history. Honestly, Ryu from Shenmue, he would laugh at this game. However, they're not even necessary since the game gives them to you regardless of whether you press the button or not, which is odd. The only advantage as far as I can tell for actually lifting your finger to press the button is you get to check the clues a little bit early, but it's not much of an advantage, and I believe the PS4 version has achievements linked to pressing them, so kinda useless for the Switch version. We can blame Nintendo, right? The Luddites! Once you get to a certain point, you have to come up with hypotheses, however you're supposed to say it, I don't know. How to do that? Well, in a rather rudimentary way, you connect clues with mysteries to create these hypotheses. This is all laid out on a hexagonal grid where you can scroll through the clues you have to come up with your theory. It's fairly basic and doesn't always make complete sense, but then again, which video game mysteries are perfect? None. Admittedly, the tutorial, it's a bit naff. It left me none the wiser about what on earth was supposed to be going on. But when you're in the proper mystery, like in Chapter 1, it starts to make a little bit more sense. Although, I don't believe the game tells you that you must put the corresponding clues in the correct place. For example, whether your clue is accepted or not may depend if you put it directly above the question or maybe the bottom right. That definitely caught me off guard, and I really don't remember that ever being brought up during the tutorial. There's not that much to say in terms of gameplay. It really is just about putting tiles next to one another that supposedly make logical sense. It's very basic and doesn't exactly make you feel like Sherlock, but I still quite enjoyed it, if only to advance the story rather than from some like gameplay satisfaction kind of thing. In terms of the acting, it's pretty good, especially from the main people. There's obviously signs of a smaller budget in there in terms of like sets and some of the costumes, but overall, I was impressed by the acting skills, for the most part. Some actors were really chewing the scenery, more ham than a butcher's shop window. Just this big lump of pig swinging in front of the camera, and I love it. I mean, it adds a bit of campiness that is very much needed, and really the story as a whole is very campy. It's all a bit like Doctor Who in places. It's serious but not properly serious, which is exactly what is needed for this kind of game. It knows the kind of tone it needs to set, aside from showing proper corpses in the introduction. That was pretty dark. Now this game is available physically, but only in Japan and in Southeast Asia. There's no physical release in the West because this is a massive game. It's like 14 gigabytes or something like that. I'll get to the digital release in a second, but yeah, Japan, Southeast Asia, getting the good stuff on both Switch and PS4 actually, and thankfully it does have English, so you can import it for your console of choice, whether that's the Switch or PS4. If you want to own this physically, keep it forever, then consider using the links below in the description and the pinned comment, because if you use those links, it also helps support myself and SwitchWatch at the same time. It is the best way to support us because you also get something too, right? That's a bonus. Plus, if you click our links, you can also get our discount code Jordan. Yes, when checking out, use the code Jordan for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. Plus, it's free shipping over $100. Now, our code won't last forever. Sometime in the summer it will change, and if you're watching this in the future, then check out the latest Let's Get Physical video every Monday, and you'll find the latest discounts there, so subscribe as well. Do yourself a favor. This is available digitally for the rather princely sum of $50 in the US, 40 quid in the UK, and 50 euros in, well, you can guess. That's a huge amount for an FMV these days. I mean, you wouldn't pay that much to watch a movie, which is comparable in this case, but of course this is a lot longer than a movie, and I can understand why the West only has the digital version since, as I said, the file size is unsurprisingly large with all this video, although it is slightly compressed video quality. That did disappoint me a little bit. Not too bad, but noticeable. It is worth noting that when choosing your languages, you have to be a little bit careful, since even if you choose English as the text language, it won't actually appear unless you go into the accessibility section and turn the subtitles on. I was massively confused for the first few minutes why the environmental translation stuff was working, but when the actors were talking, nothing. It's just kind of peculiar why subtitles aren't automatically turned on. It's like, sure, I want English, but I don't want to see it. Too cool for that. It's just weird. Overall, I had quite a lot of fun with the Centennial case. It's one of the better FMVs that I've played, although I can't say I played too many of them, but this is the best one, I would say, out of the 3 that I've played. As a murder mystery, it works, even if it is a bit of a stretch at times with its logic and its interactive elements being somewhat of a facade, but still, if you're a fan of murder mystery stuff, it is well worth a play, although perhaps at a cheaper price. That digital price is quite expensive. Physical, not too bad because you can always sell it on. Can't fault the production value gone into it for the type of budget it has, and I think they did the best with what they had, and I wish that Square Enix executive well in his search for a new job. Don't go in expecting a game, because really it is not a game. It's not. It's a fun, campy murder mystery that I genuinely enjoyed. Be prepared for a movie, not a game. An 8 out of 10. There we go, a quick review of the Centennial case, mainly because there's not a lot to explain, and I don't want to spoil anything at the same time. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more in-depth reviews than this one at least. The physical purchase links are below to support us, plus thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Elissa, Punkidusa, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa, They, Mental Traveler, Grandsert, Viz, Jennifer M, and Instacritic. Plus you, yeah, you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, leave me a comment stating your favorite murder mystery show or book, maybe, I guess. And if it's not Castle, you're wrong. Of course, you can like something else, that's fine. It is fine, although Castle, Nathan Fillion, what a legend. I love that man. I love him. Check out some of our other stuff. On Sunday, we have digital bargains. Maybe this game will appear in one of those videos in the future. And check out Monday's video for all the latest Switch physical releases and, of course, discount codes. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.